Progressive overload is the key principle for making progress in the gym, but it can also be used to make progress in your life in general. If you're feeling stuck in life, constantly facing the same problems and getting the same results, pay attention and watch this video all the way to the end because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you how to use the principle of progressive overload to start making real progress in your body, your business, and your life. Now, most people think progressive overload just means adding more weight to the bar. And sure, that's part of it, but it's not the whole principle. Progressive overload really means that you're constantly increasing the demand that you place on yourself. So that could be more weight, it could be more reps, it could be better form, more control, more intensity, more time under tension. You, the goal of progressive overload is to increase the physical stress on your body so that you can adapt and grow over time. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect to grow. And that's where most people go completely wrong. Because most people do just enough in the gym to feel like they're working. But that's not enough to force actual change and stimulate actual growth. They use the same weights, they keep the same habits, they make the same decisions over and over and over again. They're just maintaining, aka stagnating. And of course, that's not progress. They take that same mindset into their life in general. So they end up doing the same routines, earning the same amount of income, and operating at the same level of thinking. There's no overload, so there's no growth. So, how do you actually apply progressive overload outside of the gym? In the gym, progressive overload is obvious. More weight on the bar, more reps, more time under tension. In life, it's a little bit more subtle. A lot of the time, it looks like more responsibility, making harder decisions, taking bigger risks, and having a higher standard for what you accept into your life. You don't grow by staying comfortable, you grow by increasing what you can handle. Like I said earlier, stress is a stimulus for growth. And in business, this concept becomes abundantly clear. In your career or business, overload looks like this: more output, more rejection, more responsibility, more pressure. And most people avoid that. They stay where everything is predictable, where things feel safe. And that's exactly why they don't grow. Because in business, your income is directly tied to what you can handle, the stress you can tolerate, the problems you can solve. That means more pressure, more decisions, more complexity. And that's overload. That's how you make progress. And of course, there's a right way to do things and a way that leaves you burnt out. And of course, we want to avoid the burnout. So, what is smart overload and what is just self-destruction? Doing everything all at once is a recipe for burnout. But progressive overload is about doing slightly more than you did before, consistently. In the gym, you don't just jump from 135 to 315. You build. You add 5 pounds to the bar every time you lift until you get to 315. And if you miss a rep, you fail a set, you redo that set at the same weight until you get it right. And it's the same thing in life. You don't just try to fix everything overnight. You increase your standard step by step. You do one more sales call. You do one more hour of focused work. You have just one difficult conversation with someone that you've been putting off. You expand your capacity gradually. And that's what separates the high performers from everyone else. Because at a certain point, it's not just about the reps anymore. It's about who you are becoming. When you apply progressive overload to your life consistently over time, you become someone who seeks challenge instead of avoiding it. You become someone who increases the load instead of staying comfortable. And that's the kind of person who grows. Most people want progress, but they avoid the discomfort of progressive overload. And that's why they stay the same. Don't let that be you. If you want to start building real strength in your body and your life, check out the 1% Better Challenge down below. And if you're serious about becoming stronger, more capable, and harder to break, subscribe to the channel. Barry Barbell, here to help you develop the strength and nutrition habits for a life well lived. I hope to see y'all in that next video. Peace.